This is Josiah Plays Pillars of Eternity. I've returned. Well, we don't need to be in stealth mode. I've returned to the castle, to the keep, to the stronghold, whatever you want to call it. Cadnua, which I now own. And what I'm going to do real quick, let's see, anything new going on here? My Artificer's Hall is done, which is cool. And I'm working on my Bailey. Where's the Artificer's Hall at? That's obviously not it. That's still all trashed looking. Blooded Thug, that's my guy. I hired him. Vanguard Soldier, yeah, he's one of my hirelings too. Oh look, this must be it, because this place is a little more fixed up looking and I can actually go inside now. Well, let's check out the Artificer's Hall that I built. Or refurbished, I guess. There's an Artificer. This looks like something from an Adirian drinking game in which several vials are filled with water and one with concentrated Somri liquor. Huh, okay. Cool. It's like a Russian roulette of drinking. Springs, gears, and wires jangle around in the crate. Interlocking rings are carved with peculiar symbols. They slide across one another with a soft series of clicks. That sounds cool, whatever that is. And he's a dwarf, naturally, and he looks like he's wearing Vailian. So he's a Vailian dwarf. Cool. He's got that darker skin, too. Let's see what... We're all fatigued, of course. No big deal.
Good day, stranger.
Greetings, my lady. Here you will find only the most ingenious of contraptions, oils and snares and whimmercrafts, all to fetter and frustrate your foes. Do you wish to have a look? Let me see what you have. He has traps, and he doesn't have very many right now, but presumably, like the other merchants, he will get more as time goes along. Not bad, though. They're kind of expensive, aren't they? 1,500 for one Sunlance trap? I don't know about that. 563 for a Tanglefoot, which doesn't hobble for very long. Traps are not cheap. Boiling spray trap. Alright, well, buying traps is not currently, in my budget, so...
Welcome.
Good eve, my lady. Are we in need of traps this night? Farewell. Okay, let's get out of here. Still, though, if I need to buy traps, I've got the hookup right there. The trap hookup. Okay. Rest of these places are still trashed. Yeah, I read that already. So, I'm assuming she's gonna be in the house, just chilling. Yeah? Probably so. I kind of want to go in here real quick and see about... Fellow St. Wademan. Oh, this is that guy that I hired temporarily. He was like a guest, and he showed up, and I hired him, but he was really expensive, so I like fired him basically. He no longer shows up on my list here, but he's clearly here in my. Waiting on your orders, my lady. Looks like a paladin, maybe a priest. And this is my merchant that I brought in.
Hello.
If it can be used to hurt or heal someone, I have it here for sale. Want to have a look? Show me your wares. You don't... Wait, what? These things don't even show a price, and yet they do have a price when you... Hold on.
Good day to you.
Is this guy kind of bugged out or what? Looks like maybe he is. He's got a crested hat for sale. Alright. Camping supplies do I need? No, I don't.
How do you do?
So I think I'm just going to sell some stuff to him, basically. Elder Lion Fangs. I think I can sell those. And the lion hides. I've got an extra one of those books. I'm going to sell it. Pry bars, rope and grappling hook. Got a lot of lockpicks. That's good. Okay. All my consumables. I'm going to sell these wizard's double potions because I don't like them. Same with iron skin. Okay. Now for selling some of this other junk. I have a lot of hoods in my life. Great Helm, a coif. Sell at least some of that. I doubt that I'm going to use that. I don't think I'm going to sell it. I could use the money. A lot of extra mail, leather, brigandine, fine mail. Fine brigandine's quite nice. I already have an extra suit of fine brigandine. Let's get rid of that. Some fine robes, some other fine mail and scale, and a couple suits of plate. Going to get rid of a few of these things while still keeping some stuff that I might theoretically want to use. Scepter can go, crossbow, medium shield, sword. I'll keep a few of these other things. So there we go. That's wow. That is suddenly a lot of coin that just rolled into my pockets. That's really going to help. That'll help get me back over so I can keep building stuff here at the stronghold without having to worry too much about running out of money. Excellent. Don't need to buy anything here, I don't think. Especially since I don't get a discount at this shop, even though it's in my own damn keep, I don't get a discount. Okay, cool. Well, that's fine. Made some money there. Get that back in there, get that back in there. He's just gonna hold on to some of this stuff. be hooded, but I think she's going hoodless for a while. She wore a hood for a long time. Just tired of being hooded. Okay. So, I'm gonna go in the house and look for Palagina now. I have to assume she's in there. If not, I don't know where she is. I still haven't fixed up the first floor of my house, so it's all trashed looking still with all kinds of cobwebs and shit's broken. Let's see. But the second floor, though, I got the second floor covered. She's not down here for any reason, right? Probably not. So there's Aloth. There she is. This must be her room. Alright, she looked kind of badass. Cool. Well then. Let's go. Save. Now we're going to talk to her.
Need something?
Palagina's eyes glimmer with a divine spark as she coolly appraises you. Need something? That's a lot of questions. You're one of the godlike, aren't you? She lets out a small laugh. That's what they call me, yes. I've never met a god, so I don't know what they're like. I can't say why everyone else presumes to understand why I was born this way. How do people in the Valian Republics feel about the godlike? Like with anyone who's different, most people are curious or afraid. And if they're afraid, she shrugs, they get angry. They want to make sense of the world, and people like me can be confusing. I don't know what I'm doing with her voice right now. Just experimenting, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of how it is everywhere. And believe me, people are easily confused. Her tone becomes more serious as her voice and gaze drift off. After a long moment, she looks back to you. We all have to protect ourselves, no matter where we are. Being different means always looking over your shoulder, no matter what company you keep. Where in the Valian Republics are you from? I was born in a fishing... Oh, that sounds exactly like my voice. I was born in a fishing village near Biagapi. Her brow furrows, her golden eyes looking away as she searches for a lost memory. Can't remember the name. Can't remember the name of her village, huh? She waves her feathered hand dismissively. I was only there for a few years. My best memory was leaving the place. I don't know if she's telling me everything here. Like all the other brothers, I grew up under the Ausian bastions. It wasn't easy, but I prefer it to gutting fish. I was wondering about your order, the Brotherhood of the Five Sons. Palagina nods softly. Back in the Republics, we call it the Fremas Mescanxuolius. I just probably completely slaughtered that pronunciation. Frema Mecanxuolius. Frema Mecanxuolius. The Five Sons are the Duke's bells. The 5 great dukes who rule over the most powerful republics, Sperento, Ansenze, Selona, Ozia, and Revua. The Duke's bells keep the republics moving forward, keep us at the forefront of trade and technology, keep us strong against our rivals. We brothers are sworn to aid and protect them, for the good of the republics and their citizens. It's interesting. You say brothers, but my breastplate bulges in the wrong spot? He cracked a small grin. I may look like a woman and sound like a woman, but according to the Republic's laws, I'm not. What they call godlike. People like me, we can never bear children, so we can't be real women, for what that's worth. Most women in the Republics, if they can't bear children, it's like the sun has set on their lives. But what it was worth to me, freedom. Just a second. Okay, sorry about that. But what it was worth to me, freedom. The Brotherhood has a prohibition against women entering, but I was allowed. Many resented the decision, but I learned long ago not to care. I wanted to ask you something else about the Brotherhood. Palagina nods sharply. When did you become a brother? I joined the Order when I was very young, only 6. I did not pass my final examinations until I was 20. It's not something I ever expected to happen. Pirates attacked the town where my family lived. It was not uncommon when I was young. They were more of a nuisance than a real threat, but they were persistent enough that the Duke of Ozia saw fit to send the Frema to deal with the threat. I was enamored with the idea of being one of them. I didn't even know what it meant to serve a country then. I didn't really even know what the republics were. I was just a little girl, but maybe I wanted to be them because I saw how people celebrated them. I saw how people thanked them for what they did. Most of all, I saw how they left this place that felt like a prison to me. Was it difficult? It was more difficult than I had imagined, but I was a child. Children fail to understand the true difficulty of things, but it makes them resilient to the doubt that plagues us in old age. It's true. Still, childhood eventually gives way to adolescence. It was then that the young man began to hate me for being different. Not godlike, but a woman among them. She shifts uncomfortably. For many years, it was hard to bear. It took me 3 tries to pass the physical tests required of all brothers. Such failures are not rare, but it was used against me up until the day I left. It wasn't until I entered service that I was able to escape the abuse. So this is kind of awful. Like, she was the only woman in this military order of men, and she was obviously put through a lot of crap because of her gender, but she stuck it out and she became a paladin, and good for her. Kind of sucks though. Can't get away from this shit, even in fantasy worlds. I wanted to ask you something else about the Brotherhood. How does that work? With 5 dukes, they can't agree all the time. She throws her head back and laughs. Ha 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 ha! Of course not. They argue endlessly in the Songrata Ducala. The Brotherhood is forbidden to take sides in their debates. Not that I'd want to. I'd rather risk life and limb fighting the Republic's enemies than listen to the droning lectures of the Ducal Congress. Our loyalty is not to individual dukes,
but to the dukes as a whole, to their collective will and resolutions. We follow the mandates of the ducal congress. The individual dukes direct us, but they have an understanding of how we are not to be used. I wanted to ask you something else about the Brotherhood. What's so great about the Valian republics? Long ago, the Grand Empire of Vailia thrived. As the empire collapsed into the warring states of Old Vailia, that's where I'm from, much of that old culture was lost. The Old Valians see grandeur in the acts of their forebears and believe it elevates them. They are a tired people from a fading time. Hey, we're not, I'm a time, okay, we kinda are. There was once beauty in the great cities of the empire, but there are few alive today who ever saw it. The Valian republics are a rebirth of grand Valian culture, but we are more than just that. While Old Vailia was content to look ever backward, the republics will shape the future. I wanted to ask you something else about the Brotherhood. Maybe I did not, actually. Oh, I did get to. So she said this. So how did you wind up joining? My father resented me and my presence. When he learned that the Brotherhood accepted my kind, because we are not considered women, he asked if I could be traded in exchange for taxes he owed on his land. The recruiter believed that having a godlike among the ranks would be prestigious, so he accepted in spite of my physical limitations. Why did your father resent you? Because I was born different, but more than that, because the birth hurt my mother. It left her unable to bear more children. She weakly shrugs her shoulders. It's why my father traded me to the Brotherhood. My mother, she was a different sort. Kinder, more forgiving. She did not blame me for being what I was. But when my father looked at me, he saw his family line ended. He hated me for it. That's strange. That's strange. That's strange. Our lives are strange. There are other ways my father could have dealt with me. He could have killed me at birth. No one in that village would have thought less of him. She shrugs, the membranes of her eyes sliding out and back from beneath her eyelids. She's like a bird woman. Being sold to the Brotherhood turned out to be the better alternative. I wanted to ask you something else about the Brotherhood. Asked this already. Why did you want to serve the Dukes? I wish I had been born ordinary. I wish I had been born somehow different than I was. Or that I had been born somewhere, sometime, where there was a place for me. But I was not. In the republics, people look at me and they see a godlike. I cannot marry. I cannot even practice a trade in most cities. My appearance is too upsetting to people. Even though I could not be a part of that order, I saw the value in it. I thought that if I could help preserve the republics, people would see that there is a place for my kind within our society. The Dukes are good leaders, but they need the Brotherhood to help them. Let's talk about something else. The membranes of Palagina's golden eyes slide out and back as she softly nods. Why are you concerned about Animancy in Defiance Bay? People look at the republics as a nation of traders. We do not engage in much commercial trade through Defiance Bay, but the greatest value we have found is not written on a ledger line. It's intellectual wealth, the ideas that we exchange. The Deerwood and the Valian republics are the world's leaders in animancy. If the Deerwood institutes prohibitions against research and practice of animancy, it will have serious repercussions for the Valian republics. Don't you think there are dangers in animancy? Of course it's dangerous, but we who live in the Eastern Reach, we are the children of pioneers. We sought out the danger. Hey, Fury's Tenshu, how you doing? I didn't even know you were here.
Love this stream, dude. I'm gonna sleep now, though. I got this game yesterday, and I'm having a blast. Yeah, I know, it's really fun. I really quite like it. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a kind of old school game. It really feels like a true successor to like Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and Planescape Torment. So it's good times. Have a good night. Sleep well. Keep having fun. Keep having fun. Thanks for stopping by. The children of pioneers, we sought out the danger. She nods her head decisively. This is why all of the best research must happen in the New World. Do you see animancy as something to be traded? Just something to be traded. She snorts dismissively. I am not a scientist, but I believe animancy can benefit us all. There are so many questions to be answered about who we are, why I am the way I am. If we can answer them, maybe we can make life better for everyone. Let's talk about something else. The membranes of Palagina's golden eyes slide out and back as she softens. Her membranes do a lot of stuff. She's got a lot of stuff going on with her membranes. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Just saying. For sure, man. Keep up the good work. Have a good night/morning. Thanks, you too. You too, Furies Tenchu. Have a good one. I appreciate the goodwill from you. I'd like to know your opinion on something. She nods her feathered head sharply. Ask and you will know. There's a lot of questions here. How do you think things are going? Oh, cool. I got a special response thing here from her because I have that reputation of honest too. So because I answered enough things honestly, she says this to me, whereas if I hadn't, she would say something different. That's awesome. Not so bad. She shrugs and thinks for a moment. Still, it's good to speak one's mind, but take care you don't open it to everyone. There are times when discretion will take us further than honesty. If you say so. You have spent a lot of time in the Dear Wood. What do you make of it? It's not the Republic's, but the Dear Wood is one of our closest allies. We trade more with the Dear Wood than any other nation, and we have no greater ally in supporting animancy research. Palagina shakes her head slightly. Still, I do not understand the Dear Wooden obsession with revenge and feuds, nor the widespread hatred of Orlans. Right? I know. People be crazy. Dear Woodens be crazy. The Orlans from Ire Glanfath fight for their homes and their culture, as anyone would. They fight dirty, but I would too if all my enemies were twice my size. She got a good point there. Do the Republics view the Edir Empire as a threat? We used to view the Empire as a threat. Since the revolution in Deerwood, the Republics have benefited from the shield that the Deerwood provides. It's another reason why I fear the fall of the Defiance Bay. If the Deerwood is weak, Edir will surely test the Republic's dominance in the Eastern Reach. What do you know of Rawatai? They've done impressive things with cannon and artillery, and some of their ship designs are interesting, but they shout too loudly over minor accomplishments. She smiles softly. That does sound kind of like Kana. No one seriously questions that the Republic control all sea lanes in the Eastern Reach. Let's talk about something else. Membranes again. Farewell. So it's possible that's all she has to say at this point. She's pretty cool.
Need something?
Her eyes glimmer with a divine spark as she coolly appraises you. Need something? Okay, so we've gone through her dialogue. Now we have to do the very hard task of deciding who I want in my group. Well, first of all, I need to see what she's like what her stats and abilities are. So, first thing I need to do is kick someone out temporarily. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be you, Sagani. Pretty sure it's gonna be you. So I need to take all of your possessions. Don't be alarmed. You might get them back. Whoa. What's going on with Sagani and the skin color difference there? Is that like... That's weird. Okay. Sagani, I need your stuff. Thanks. Thanks. So, Sagani, goodbye. Palagina, hello. Palagina's up in the crew. We are working on our Bailey, which will be done in 14 hours. Alright. So now she's officially on the team. She looks tough. I like her whole hair thing with the, like, luminescent-ish looking feathers and everything. So she's wearing a fine breastplate. Alright, we've read about... Wait, this is different. She's got something new here. This one, belonging to the Paladin Palagina, bears the stylized engraving of 5 suns, representing the Valian Republics, and more specifically, the Brotherhood of the 5 Suns. Oh, I see. She's got... Oh, it's even on her portrait. She's got 5 suns painted on her breastplate. And look, it's actually got a special property. It's not just a fine breastplate, it's special. It's got Defiant on it. 1.5 times damage reduction when under 25% health. That's pretty great, actually. She's also got a cape, just a normal cape. And she's got a fine pistol. That's good. And she's got a fine greatsword. Alright, let's see. Is she tough? So she's a 5th level paladin in the Frema Mekanxwolius order. Whatever that means. Soldier, Avian Godlight. So her might is low, her con is kind of low, her dex is low, her perception is eh. Her ant is eh. So her stats are kind of awful. Let's keep it real here. Elusive Quarry. Oh, that's her racial ability, huh? Avian Godlike are naturally difficult to hit with ranged weapons, gaining a deflection bonus against all such attacks. Below 50% endurance, an Avian Godlike's senses and movement become more precise, granting a bonus to perception and defense against disengagement attacks. So plus 10 deflection against ranged, and when they're below 50% endurance, they get plus 10 defense on disengage and plus 3 perception. Well, that's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. She's got a boatload of athletics. Oh my god. She's not messing about when it comes to athletics, is she? And some lore. No stealth, though, sadly. Alright, abilities. Faith and Conviction. Passive. Plus 5 deflection, 10 fortitude, 10 will effects, 10 will. And yeah, we've read that before, and it's based on reputations. 2 per encounter. She gets to do an attack with a whole bunch of extra burn damage. Calls upon the paladin's inner fire, causing their equipped weapons to burst into flame, and adding 100% burn damage for their next attacks. Then she also has Intense Flames, which gives her plus 25% more. Augments the power of the paladin's flames with devotion, increasing its damage. So that's probably pretty good damage with a big greatsword or something. Lay on Hands. Once per encounter, allied target gains some endurance over a short period of time. Fueled solely by belief, the paladin is able to heal with the touch of his or her hands, recovering a substantial amount of endurance for the paladin or an ally within range. Well, I wouldn't really call it that substantial, but I guess it's better than nothing. Zealous Focus is a modal accuracy aura within 3 meters of her. That's pretty good, actually. Plus 6 accuracy to everybody. That's nice. Paladin's intense and pure conviction instills clarity of purpose in him or her, and all allies increasing their accuracy cannot be active with other zealous auras. So, she's kind of a melee. She's not really so much a tank. I mean, I guess I could make her semi-tanky if I gave her a shield and all that. She's more of a melee DPS. I mean, she has a lot less endurance and a little bit less health than Adair. Her defenses are... Whoa. He has so much fortitude. Her defenses are quite a bit lower. Of course, she's not wearing all the like bonus stuff that adds to it either yet, so... Well... She could use this, though. She could use Justice. Which would be cool. Oh yeah, and she has weapon-focused soldier. Greatsword, pike, warhammer, arbalest, arquebus. Well, that's kind of cool. She gets a bonus with arquebus. And pike. So I could give her, like, a nice pike and she could melee from the back rank. Kind of like Kana. And then Kana could just stay back and do nothing but ranged. Or she could do ranged, which... But I mean, she is a paladin, so it makes more sense to... Flames of Devotion will work with a gun, though. Oh man, that would do so much damage. An arquebus shot with Flames of Devotion? That would be pretty lovely. Not gonna lie. But I feel like she kind of needs to be in melee. I mean, she has all the extra paladininess. Paladininess? Yes, I just said paladininess. That's amazing. Okay, I hate to do it right now, but I need to. I've got to take a super quick break. So the stream is going to keep going, so is the recording. I just need to step away for you know, just a couple minutes here, so I will be right back. Be right back. Stay tuned. Josiah Plays. We'll be right back. That's the song. And I'm back. Sorry about that. So, let's jump back into it here. Okay, so now it's time for the fateful decision. Who gets to be in the party now that I have all the companions? I got an achievement for that too. So, basically my decision is mostly going to be based on story factors, like who I want the most for who I think will be the most interesting, like story-wise, for my first time through the game, and based on my character. So I think Grieving Mother is absolutely in, period, because she's got so much possible connection with my character and with the storyline, because she's all about the soul stuff, plus she's Chris Avalon's written character, so she's going to have good stuff going on with her plotline. So she's in. I also kind of feel like I have to have Pallegina because she's a female from the Vailian. Well, I'm from Old Vailia, I guess, technically, and she's from the Vailian room. But still, there's some connections there to the storyline that I'm interested in for the game. So she's in. So those three, that's my character, so of course she's in. So those three are for sure. The other three slots are up for grabs. I'm not going to use my rogue because she's just a recruited character. She's not a... So it's either the three that I have here, or Durance, Sagani, and Aloth. Now, mechanically speaking, part of me wants to get rid of all of the primary casters, i.e. the wizard, the priest, and the druid. I kind of want to get rid of all of them so I don't have anybody that's reliant on daily stuff. Which would mean I would keep Adair and Kana, and I would get Sagani, and I would get rid of Heravius. However, one, I think Sagani is a little bit useless. And two, while I do find her and her story interesting, I don't find them as interesting or relevant to the main plot as some of these others. So I don't know that I really want to take Sagani. I'm playing for the first time on Path of the Damned, and she's kind of a weak character. She's clearly the weakest out of all of these characters. So I don't know. Durance seems like he's got the most important story stuff for the main kind of story of the game. I mean, he's directly involved in the Godhammer thing and the Saint Widewind thing and all that, and he's obviously got a lot of secrets and interesting stuff going on with him. So it's pretty hard not to take Durance. Mechanically, he's also like the one main healer, so he's kind of useful in that respect as well. So I think I will probably take Durance. Aloth seems more of a side character. He is the first companion you get, so that led me to believe that he might be like a really important to the plotline character, but that doesn't seem to be the case from what I've seen so far. I mean, his whole two souls thing is kind of tied in that maybe he's an awakened soul and everything, but he seems more of a side character to me than as directly tied into the main themes and stories of the game, such as Durance, Adair, because he's an Aethasian and he fought in the Saints' War, and so he's got strong opinions and thoughts on that whole topic, same with Durance. And also I just don't like wizards that much, so I'm likely to not take Aloth in my main party for this playthrough. Same with Sagani. Adair I feel like I need to take. Mechanically he's very useful, obviously, as the awesome tank, but he's also... I feel like he's probably more important and tied into the main story than a lot of these other characters. And we'll see that over time. So that leaves Heravius and Kana. One of these will probably need to leave to make room for Durance, I suppose. I like Heravius a lot. I think he's funny. I think he's interesting. Mechanically, I think the druid is very cool and has great spells and stuff. But I think he's going to be more of a side character and not have as much stuff to say and useful things to say about the plot line and the story elements than Kana. I mean, Kana's being hunted by the whatever they're called, the Leaden Key. Are they the Leaden Key? The something Key. He's being hunted by the same people that seem to be the main antagonists of the game. He's got a lot of lore knowledge of different things in the game. So I think he's important. So I think I kind of need to have him. Whereas Haravius is more of a side character. Same with Sagani. Aloth might be more important than I'm giving him credit for, but I don't know. I think he's not as important as Durance, though, in terms of tie-ins to the central stuff of the game. So I think what I'm going to do is get rid of Haravius, pick up Durance, and that's going to be my team. Adair, Kana, Durance, Grieving Mother, my character, and Pallegina. It should be a pretty strong team. We'll have the Priest, and the strong tank. We'll have the Chanter. We'll have the Paladin for another melee kind of tank character. Unless we decide to have her do ranged also. We really only need to have 2 people in melee, and everyone else should be doing ranged. So we could have Adair and Pallegina in melee. Kana can do ranged, Durance can do ranged. Or we might decide to have her do ranged too, since she has a bonus with Arquebus and Arbalest. In which case, we'll make Kana or Durance kind of be up in melee. But it would probably be her. So, right now, I think that's the decision I've made then. My team is going to be just like this, except Haravius is out and Durance is back in. Then for my next playthrough of the game, of course, I will use all the characters I didn't use this time. So that time I'll have Aloth, I'll have Sagani, I'll have Haravius, and then whoever else for the other slots. But I'm not sure, you know? Maybe I should have Aloth. Maybe you're supposed to have him. He is the first companion you get. You get him even before Adair. So maybe I'm supposed to have him, but I don't think I'm going to take him. As disappointing as that will be for Jen, for Augia, because she loves her elf wizard guys. I think I'm going to have to leave him and take Durance. And Haravius is one of my favorite characters so far, based on personalities. I mean, he's funny, but I think the funny Orlin guy's got to go for now. Same with Sagani. They're kind of more, you can kind of tell, they're sort of more side characters. Durance is obviously a central character, as is Adair and Kana. I mean, Grieving Mother and Pallegina are probably both a little bit more strange, optional type characters too, but they have more tie-ins to the stuff that is going on with my character, I think, so I want them. So, yeah. So I think I gotta take the stuff off of Haravius and kick him to the curb for now. I'm sorry, Haravius. It was fun having you while I did, but you are the weakest link. Goodbye. He's a pretty furry little guy, isn't he? So Haravius is gonna go. And Durance is going to come back in. He has nothing. Okay. I do feel bad about not taking Aloth, but there's nobody in the group that I feel like I can lose, that I want to lose, to bring him back. I really want these 4 characters, I think, and Adair. I think these are the characters that I'm most interested in story-wise. I'm most interested in what they have to say and their reactions to things and all that. These are the 3 that I'm the least interested in. So there you go. I've chosen my team. I think mechanically this team will work just fine. So, yeah. Accept. Main party completed. So now let's just sort out our gear. Who's gonna equip what? And we'll be ready to go. Just a moment. Okay, so I suppose it makes the most sense to have her up in melee. Do I have a Warhammer? Because if I had a good Warhammer, I could give her a Warhammer and shield, and she could be more tanky, but I think for right now, since I do have that Justice Greatsword, and she is a Greatsword specialist, it does make the most sense to give her this. It's basically exactly like the sword she's using, except it also has the 25% extra crush damage, which is great. So we're going to give her Justice. Okay. I don't know about this armor she's wearing. It's probably got to go. Let's see. She's probably going to have to just wear plate, and let's not be ridiculous here. Let's pull out the Fine Brigandine, though, and see what it's got going on, too. So, she uses plate. She gains 2 base DR. She gains 5 slash DR. She gains 2 Pierce DR. She loses some shock, but she also gains against burn and freeze. And she's 10% slower. That's kind of cool, but if you're under 25% health, you're like almost dead anyway, so I think we've got to just put her in some legit plate mail and call it a day. She looks tough. What about this Brigandine, though? It's also DR12. 15 versus Crush. And it's the same. And it looks cool. I think she kind of has to be in plate, though, don't you think? Yeah. Especially since we can infinite. Yeah, I just said infinite. We can enchant this and make it fine. Wow, we have tons of the materials for this stuff now, don't we? We can enchant this and make it fine, at which point it will clearly be much better than the Brigandine. We can do the same with his armor, of course, as well. Because we have the materials to infinite. Yeah, I said that again. Many different sets of armor if we wish. We can also add like stuff like this to it. Copper, binding copper, I don't have any, but as you saw, well, you might not have saw, but as you could have seen, that merchant guy over by the Valian trading company, he sold this. And he probably sold a great deal of these other things as well. Although I don't think he sold diamonds, which is what you need to do any of these +2 enchants. But a +1 though, you know, get some con or you know, might or whatever on the armor. Kind of nice. Awakened Root, Worm Wing, Awakened Root, Binding Copper again. We're again with the Binding Copper. Oh, all these proofings take level 6. Interesting. Okay, so fining or infininating, if you prefer, the plate armors on my 2 tanks is probably a great idea. So he's going to be the really tanky tank. I mean, he's the one that's going to go in first and try to get most of the attention on him. she's going to be the off tank. She's kind of going to go in second and also be in melee, but try to only have maybe one enemy attacking her or something. So she's got justice, which is good. It's interesting that she has a pistol, since that's not one of the weapons that she's good at. She should have like an arquebus or a pike. I could give her... I mean, I don't really want to take Kana's pike away, but then again, I'm trying to focus Kana more on melee now, or on ranged, I think, now. So maybe we will take his pike away and give it to Pallegina. So if she needs to, she can stand in the back rank behind Adair and use the pike. Or she can go ahead and get in there and mix stuff up with the greatsword and kick ass with that. Let me see something here. So she's wielding justice. The only difference between these weapons is this has reach, and it does pierce. This does slash or pierce. And this has the crushing lash on it, because they're both fine. So, like, she'll definitely do more damage with this, but not a lot more. And with this, she'll have reach. So, I'm going to have her wield the greatsword, but she's got the pike. No, not the fine spear. The pike, if she needs it. Okay? That's what we're doing with her. And of course, she's going to go to the second
Fall
spot.
in on my position. I'm ready.
Following your lead.
Tell me.
Hey,
Tell me.
hey.
Que?
Okay, she's pretty cool, too. Alright, so she's in the team. Now then. She has a regular cape. Her cape can go away now. She's going to get a real thing to put on her neck. So then, Kana's going to do ranged, primarily. So, he's got forgiveness, he's got an arquebus. He doesn't have any kind of weapon focus or anything, right? No, he doesn't. So, we're going to have him open fights with the arquebus, then switch to the pistol. He could have a third thing, because he so we'll go ahead and throw this warbow on here too for his third option if need be. And then there is... Now, does he need that heavy of armor is the question. Because if he's going to be doing ranged now, he really doesn't need to be wearing fine brigandine anymore. He could be wearing something much... Like, he could be wearing Adloth's leather armor, for example, with the area of effect thing on it. Who else could benefit from the area of effect? Seraphina could, but I don't want to lose that much recovery speed. Grieving Mother could, but I don't think I want her to lose that much speed either. That means it'd be Durance or Kana. I think Kana using this armor makes a lot of sense. You get the AoE thing, which is great for Kana. He gets some protection, but he's not super slowed down. So I think Kana will use Aloth's leather armor. Durance we should probably put back into... We should probably put him back into... what do you call it? The Saints' War armor. The armor that was Adair's originally, because it has that nice second chance thing on it, which is a really good thing to have on the priest. The priest gets dropped, he can get back up. So we'll put him back in that. Plus he looks cool in it. Alright, so he's armored. They're going to stay in their robes. We may move that hat to someone else, though. So she's sorted on weapons. He's sorted. He's got his really high deflection attack thing and slash damage, if that's better. And his bashing shield plus flail, a little bit less deflection set. So that's him. And he'll wear that helm. And he'll wear that ring. Now I might put these boots. No, he's the main tank. He needs them. I just realized though, you take these things off of him. Okay, and he still has significantly more endurance and a little bit more health than she does, even without those items. Okay, well. And the blunting belt, so he's super tanked up. He doesn't have anything on his hands, though. That wouldn't stack. Could give him this for the healing thing, but that fit 17 might 16. Those should either be on Kana or my character or Adair. What's the range on that?
Yeah.
Not very high. Maybe I should put those on Adair. I will, actually. I think I will.
Huh?
That way he's got a nice... He can do it 3 times per rest. And he can throw that down, like, right on where he and she are in the melee, for example. It's fast cast. So that's good. We'll give him those gloves. Now he's really loaded with gear. He's our most geared out guy, clearly. Alright, so then her... We want to give her some more protective stuff, obviously. How's her will? It's okay. We want her to have +5 to all 3 defenses, right? Yeah, we do. So, what are our options there? What do we have? Well, we want her to have one of these belts of bountiful healing, I think. For sure. Give her one of these minor cloaks of protection. There we go. That'll buff her defenses up a little bit. We could go buy another ring of deflection from the store in Gilded Vale. Wouldn't be a bad thing for her to have. Because he doesn't want to give him his up, but she should probably have one. What else do we have for equipment here? Somebody could wear this. Extra damage reduction against freezing. It's not going to be her. His will is 41 normally. So it's good that he's got that. Of course, her will is not exactly impressing anyone, is it? Oh yeah, so does somebody want to wear that cloak? +10 will, +5 reflex. She's using perception thing. Oh, Durance needs a cloak. He could wear Rimmergen's mantle. Yeah, I guess there's no other cloaks, so... Right? I don't have like some random magical cloak sitting around in the cape. Yeah, okay, none of those things are magical. So, Durance could wear this. He needs weapons. So, he's got his staff, but really we want him to mostly do ranged, right? He doesn't have any bonuses with anything, does he? No, not currently. So... not a bad... I mean, a staff does the same base damage, 16 to 23, right? I guess it's not quite the same base damage. Close, though. So we've got some other firearms we could toss his way. We got a fine pistol. We have another fine pistol. I mean, we could give this Arquebus to Durance, and we could... and he could just use Forgiveness and the bow, and we could give him some sort of melee weapon. Do we have any other reach weapons sitting about? Or maybe we give him something and a shield. I don't really know. So, a fine pistol does almost as much damage, or basically equivalent as an Arquebus. Same DR bypass. -5, but it's faster, and then this has accuracy too. So yeah, the Arquebus kind of sucks compared to a fine pistol, really, if you think about it. So he should just have a pistol. And honestly, so should Kana. This thing is... I mean, how many fine pistols do we have? We're loaded with fine pistols at this point. We're deep in fine pistols. Like, I mean, because she had one, and we already had one. Plus, we just found Forgiveness, which is also a fine pistol. So we have 3 fine pistols. Like, we're not messing around. Now, how does a fine pistol compare? For that matter, how does an Arquebus, a normal Arquebus, compare with a normal Arbalest? Wow, Arbalest does a lot more damage. It's not as slow, has a further range, has a much better interrupt, doesn't have -5 accuracy, has the same crit thing. So the only difference is this has 6 DR bypass, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong. But every other way, the Arbalest is quite a bit superior to the... That's interesting. Fine Arbalest and an unfine Arbalest. But how does a normal Arbalest compare to, say, a fine pistol? Same basic speed, probably. This is quite a bit more damage. This has the DR bypass, though. Yeah, I'm not sure. She's going to stick with her 2 Arbalests, though. Breathing Mother's going to stick with her 2 fine crossbows. And Durance has got a pistol now, and his staff. And Kana has this cool pistol. Neither of them are going to have a pistol. So Kana could have another pistol as well as that bow. So help me out here. These are identical other than the speed thing, right? Actually, no, they're not identical. This is better, other than the speed thing, because it has that plus accuracy on it. So I think Kana should actually start with the fine pistol. Shoot it once. Then switch to forgiveness. We're gonna go with that. So that means the arquebus is now something that nobody wants to use. Like, she could use it as a backup weapon, but instead of the pike. But I don't think we're gonna do that. I think the arquebus is going on the shelf. Now, if we infininated, yeah, I just said that. If we infininated the arquebus, all of a sudden things change. Because now it would definitely do more damage than the pistol, and it would have the same accuracy bonus. So that would change everything, but do we even want to do that? I don't think we do. I don't think we want to spend the money. We'll wait until we just find a fine arquebus. Yeah. I don't think we should enchant anything right now, as a matter of fact. We should just save our materials and our money until we have better stuff, or we're higher level, or whatever. Or until we need to. So, alright, we've solved all that. I mean, he could actually have the arquebus as well, instead of the warbow. Yeah, screw the bow. Let's give him just all kinds of guns. 29 to 40, 29 to 40, 28 to 42, all with terrible accuracy. Alright, there we go. So he's gunman. And he's got a gun also, and his staff. So I think he's gonna be... the third rank guy, then Kana, then Grieving Mother, and me. All right, we're coming along now. We're coming along with this. We're getting some good stuff done. All right, now nobody's gonna use this hunting bow. Nobody's gonna use this war bow. Nobody's gonna use this brigandine. We've got to decide who gets Kana's turban. Healing bonus and 5 reflex amulets. Don't really see that happening. Well, maybe it would be good for him. Yeah, I think so, actually. This thing with the cold damage and all that, we're just going to hold on to for situational use, I suppose. This is the cursed sword. Probably worth using against certain sort of foes, spirits, but okay, we'll hold on to it. Fine spear, nobody's using that. Another hunting bow, nobody's using. Fine great sword, nope. To your wooden clothing. Is everybody happy with their armor selection? I mean, they don't have to be in robes. They could just be in clothes. If we wanted to, Then again, having no DR at all seems like a poor idea. So yeah, put the clothes away. More fine brigandine, fine breastplate. Right click. Right click doesn't work, but I think you're right. I can shift click though, and it puts things into stash quickly. Thank you, X33 Nith. Zenith, I guess we're going with. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Just kind of going through our stuff. I just finally selected what's going to be my actual party, because now I have all the companions. And so I'm just kind of going through and assigning gear to people, you know, deciding who's going to wield what and all that. So, oh yeah, the last piece of gear I actually have to decide is this turban. It's +1 intellect, which is nice for duration, and he doesn't need it. Area of effect and duration for her. It would affect her aura, but I don't think she really needs it. Durance could certainly use it as a priest. Kana could use it, but I don't really want him to have it. His intellect is up. So I'll either give it to Durance. Her area of effect and duration are hate and life too. And mine are already awesome, so I could give it to her. But she's actually already got that might hat on, so we'll let her keep that might hat. I think it's going to go on Durance. Let's see, he's got a 13 intellect. And now he's got a 14. He looks a little bit silly, but that's okay. He looks the most silly. It's a lot of will. So those bountiful healing belts, she's got one. He's got one, apparently. Let's put one on... oh, he doesn't need one because he's got that. Alright, never mind. Let's put it back on my main character. Zenith says, I'm remaking my game over and over and over, trying to figure out which class I want to sink my first, like, 60-plus hours into. LOL. Any suggestions? Well, I mean, it depends. Like, there's a lot of good classes. It depends on what kind of playstyle you want to go for. I'm playing a Cipher. I really like the Cipher. But I think the Rogue might be my favorite class. Cypher's really good, so is Rogue, so is Chanter, so is Fighter. And I think Druid's pretty good too. Ranger seems pretty bad. Paladin's sort of eh. Priest is kind of eh. Mage is kind of eh. Monk, I'm not a fan of the way monks work in this, and Barbarian looks like it could be kind of cool. I haven't really tried a Barbarian a whole lot. But it kind of depends on what you're going to do for your other characters in your group too, you know? Like, I guess I would recommend, the classes I would recommend most would be Cipher, Chanter, Fighter, and Rogue. One of those four, probably. I don't have any other necklaces or rings just hanging around in my inventory anymore, do I? No, I don't. Okay. So this ring is a self-heal twice a day.
On your word.
I don't know if he's the one that should really have that. He's got a heal 3 times a day already. She could use that. I mean, she already has...
Tell me.
She has lay on hands once per encounter. But she's going to be in melee, though, so... Durance has got healing. I think we better give this to her.
Quit?
Okay, there we go. You thinking Chanter, Rogue, or Barbarian? I don't mind Cipher, but just couldn't get into it. Yeah. Those are all good classes. I mean, I don't know if Barbarians is great. I was thinking if I played a Barbarian, I would want him to use like a reach weapon and kind of be attacking from behind the tank, because they're not really durable. They have a lot of health, but they have really terrible defenses, and they don't have any real abilities that affect their defenses either. So a Barbarian's kind of going to get their ass kicked if they're getting attacked by a bunch of things, is the problem with them. They'll do a lot of damage, but so I think if you played a Barbarian and you gave him a reach weapon and you stuck him behind like a really tanky fighter, so that the Barbarian doesn't have to get hit a whole lot. I mean, he'll still get hit some, but then the Barbarian could probably be pretty awesome. Rogue, I think I would definitely play a Rogue as a ranged character. I wouldn't want to play a melee Rogue. But a Rogue with a bow is actually, or a gun or whatever, is actually pretty awesome. And Chanters are cool. You can play them a lot of different ways. You can make them tanky, or you can make them ranged character. Either way, Chanters are a lot of fun. I really like playing this Chanter that's in the party. He's the NPC.
What?
Chanter. He's got some
On
cool
your
abilities.
Hey.
All right, now I have. There was another item. She's got +5 to everything. So does he. Okay. Right. Oh, that's right. She can't wear a helm because she has her special godlike head business going on. Oh yeah, the last thing is just to decide who's going to wear this ring. Combusting wounds, so it should probably be somebody with either high might or int, which she has the highest might and int. So maybe she should have that. But then again,
Your
she
thoughts
already
must
has a
flow
lot of
deep
stuff to do
indeed.
in combat. Whereas somebody like Kana doesn't always have a lot of stuff
What?
to do. Same with Durance. I don't think this burn damage over time actually gets scaled. I think all the scaling on this thing is based on duration and radius, so that's more of an intellect thing than a might thing. Which means it would be good on Kana, actually. So let's take this off. Let's give it to him.
Eh?
Following your lead.
Alright, good.
Eh?
On your word.
Yeah.
Alright, consumables. It's the last thing. Also, should she be summoning, or can I give this horn to somebody else? Who has the least important stuff to do in combat? It seems like it's probably going to be Kana a lot of the time. Well, I have a lot of stuff here. A lot of beer as well. Beer and spirits and mead and gold rot shoe, potions. So much consumables, man. One damage reduction for 300 seconds. Exact same thing as beer.
Constitution for 300 seconds. 2 damage reduction for less time. Minus 20 fatigue for 600 seconds. Duration of active hostile effects. So then you have this, you have the 30 heal over time, or you have the 53 right away. So those big heal potions need to go on my main tanks here. The accuracy thing, who's my main damage dealer? I don't really have any real damage dealers, do I? But I guess it's her. Oh, actually, it's probably her. She's gonna probably kind of wreck stuff with that greatsword. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Hold on. I have so many scrolls also. So these potions, like, give him a couple, give him 3, give her 3, give her 3. We spread those around, and not sure who's gonna get that yet. Fleet Feet. I'm gonna put that on tempted to put it on my main character because she's gonna be my scout. Stealth 5, mechanics 5. Nobody else can really do the scouting thing like she can. I just realized I got rid of both of the people in my party that had all the survival. But she has so much athletics. I guess I don't need to mess with athletics on Adair anymore. I can pump all of his points into survival. We'll see about that. Spirit Shield, this is a tanky sort of potion, so I'm thinking it should go on the tank man. Ocean of Power, attack speed and max endurance. I'm going to put that on Pallegina. Okay, now scrolls. Now some of these scrolls only certain people can use. So like that one requires 4, that one requires 4, that one requires 4, that one requires 4, and that one requires 4. Who can actually use these scrolls? He has a lore of 2, 4, so she can use good scrolls. He can use good scrolls, of course, so can he. She can't. So the 2 people that can't use those scrolls are Grieving Mother and Adair. They can only use the 2-point scrolls. So I think I'm going to put these Fan of Flames back on him so that he can nuke stuff from the front sometimes with those, which is a pretty cool idea as a tank. Prayer Against Fear. Yeah, and he's not going to use any of these other things. Which means he's got 1 slot that could go for minor recovery or one of these buff things like beer or ale. Let's load him up with some ale as well as what he's got there. So that's Adair. He's done. She can use good scrolls. Her
intellect is kind of meh, though, so we don't want to give her, like... That's a pretty sweet defense scroll for her to have, actually. Although it would really be better on somebody with more intelligence, like Kana or my character. My character is going to be at a premium, though, so maybe we put it on Kana. Ray of Fire. Maybe should use that, maybe. We'll see. Scroll of Protection. Half duration for hostile effects for a while. Sort of want to put that on him too. Alright, this is a plus stealth thing. I don't think I need to have that in a quick slot. I can take that out when I need to use it or want to use it. And then this is the last one. 4 lore, Burst of Summer Flame. That's got a range on it, so AoE and damage. Give that to him also. This has got to be really boring to watch, this part where I'm messing with all my inventory and stuff, so I'm sorry if it is. I don't know. Are you even still here, Zenith? People watching on my YouTube videos can just skip past this stuff if they want to. If you're watching the stream, then this might be boring. Sorry, I'm almost done here, though. Tanglefoot. Tanglefoot. Maybe I'm going to put these scrolls on him. They kind of fit him thematically anyway. He's the healer. I'll put the Tanglefoot on him. And the minor missiles. We want might for that. His might's pretty decent. And so is mine. We'll give him that too. That way he can do some mage type stuff if he needs to with these scrolls. Yeah, I like that thought actually. Zenith says, still here browsing the web looking for custom portraits to see if it makes me want to... Yeah, makes sense. Good call. I was thinking... I looked at some custom portraits too and was thinking about importing one, but in the end I decided not to. I just went with a default portrait, this one here, just because it actually did kind of look like the kind of character concept I wanted to go with, so... But for my subsequent playthroughs of this game, I'm sure I'll use custom portraits because that'll make it more interesting. Prayer Against Fear. Anybody want to use this dumb thing? Give it to the priest. She's got disturbingly low intellect for a cipher. So I will give her these potions. And Fleet Feet. I guess I'll use those. And Minor Recovery Potion. Oh, and we also have this heal. So that's going to be... We want Might for that too. I'll take those.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna... Well, no. For now, she can just carry that. She's got some lore, but her might and intellect are both so terrible, I hardly want to put any good scrolls on her. And we have a ton of this booze and stuff. Alright, Durance is going to be the keeper of the booze. Yeah, okay. I think we're good to go here. Let's move on with our lives. The party is set up. They're in the correct order. They're all correctly geared. They have everything they should have. So, we need to rest.
All right then.
And then we can go on about our lives. Our adventuring journeys. Finally. Finally have my... what I believe will be my core final party through the whole game at this point. We'll see. The only thing that's questionable... 13 hours on that Bailey. Okay. Do I need to hire someone else? Like a Valian Shock Mage? Or a Rawatai Linebreaker? Or an Orderless Disciple? Or a Gold-Packed Knight? Get my security up one more. No, I think I'm good with the hirelings I have. No, I'm gonna get a Valiant Shockmage too. Why not? I like that round number of 20 for security. I don't even know what that does exactly, but I want it to be higher. Okay, I think we're good here. So the only other... You know, should I have Aloth instead of one of these? I don't know. Should I have Aravius? I don't know. But I think I'm sticking with this team, at least for now. I think we're going to rest. Look, I get plus mechanics now. Oh, I see. You're not going to get all the bonuses at once. You're going to have to choose. I see how this is going to go. Which makes sense. I mean, it would be kind of overpowered if you could just have all the bonuses stacked on one rest. But +1 mechanics I like, because mechanics is one of those things that you really always want to have more of. So now she has 6 mechanics, which is great.
Of course.
I probably have some more stuff to sell now. Alright, let's get out of here. Kind Kana's kind of way in the back now, isn't he? Do I really want him behind Durance?
Hmm?
I think I do, yeah. Alright, we're out of here. Finally, party is assembled. I can now proceed to just kind of play the game like normally without worrying about who I'm going to get in my group and
Of course.
all that. I have gathered my party. Now it is time to venture forth. Boom. Did I hire I just hired a guy, right? Valiant Shock Mage. Where's he? There's my thug. There's my Mind Striker. It's a cool name, Mind Striker. There's my Scald. There's my Vanguard Soldier. There's my Shock Mage. Well, I don't see him around, but maybe, I think sometimes when you first hire a guy, they're not around until you leave and come back to the key, because it seems like it was that way with all the others too. I went out and I didn't see him, and then the next time I came back I saw him. So let's talk about my formation again real quick. Now that so Adair's going to be in the absolute front, and then Pallegina, she should be like kind of right behind him. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll spread out a little bit more, like... I guess Durance and Kana. And then us. Something like this. Something like that. And then this is my stealth.
Eh?
Stealth-wise, 3... She has no stealth. Okay. 4, 5, 5, 5. Not bad.
Hmm.
That's my super sneaky formation. But I'm just going to be in the normal formation for now. And the normal formation looks like this.
All right then.
There's Adair out in front. Pallegina's a little bit behind him, and then all of the ranged people are back here.
Of course.
There. I will save the game like this. Except that's a terrible place to save the game because I can't. If I save in the external of Cadnuit and load that game, it screws up Kana's stats. So what I need to do is actually go. So where I'm going next is going to be Wood into Plains again because I haven't actually explored and cleared that map. So that's going to be my first order of business. So since I don't have Sagani in the party, I think I can safely save on this map with no problem. Bailey construction completed. Ooh, I have a supplicant at my stronghold. He's leaving in 18 hours. If he's ignored, I lose 5 prestige and 0 security for 3 days. And I lose some reputation with Defiance Bay. I can pay him off for 500, or I can send an escort to kind of get rid of him. Okay. A supplicant has arrived from Defiance Bay seeking 500 copper or an escort. Well, we're clearly going to escort him. I mean, come on. So that's what that rogue is useful for, that sort of thing. So escort, you can go off with my rogue. There you go. Finished in 2 days. Now that the Bailey is done, I can build all kinds of stuff. In fact, I might have built every single prerequisite thing, right? So, yeah. Connection lost. That's awesome. It happened again. That does not make me happy. Well, let's pick a thing here. I can save and I can end the episode. I don't know what to do about this. The thing just losing connection because it stops recording, it drops my stream. It's awful. I don't know what this does, but I'm going to upgrade the lab inside Bright Hollow for only 600. Okay. Alright, well, that is going to do it for this episode. So, let me legitimately save here again. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching.
Tell me.
Oh, I can use that out of combat? Cool. Did everybody just get +6 accuracy? I think so. Let's focus, +6 accuracy. Some of them are getting it.
Eh? Sure. Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Wow, they have to be
Fine.
very close to her,
Yes.
though. Oh yeah, not the best intellect, so her radius on that is not very good.
Hey, of course.
So that means it's mostly going to be affecting her and Adair probably in most situations. Okay, anyway. That's going to do it for this episode. I think I might need to mess with my internet again or something. So, I will be back in a little bit. This has been Josiah Plays, Pillars of Eternity.